Oh, God, one more time I say it's 7. The young actors and actresses.
You even talked about the kind of sex you like.
We did. In the first film, They Won't Forget.
In 1994, just months before her last breath, Lana Turner sat down for a private conversation with a journalist. Her voice, softened by a battle with cancer, revealed something astonishing on a cassette tape kept secret until 2023. She softly sighed, and then the words that stunned everyone. I have loved 7 women, and in the end, all of them made me despise myself. 7 women, not men, and the identities of these legends. They were the very standard bearers of femininity in American cinema. Today, we're unmasking these lost loves, one by one. And trust me, you won't believe what you're about to hear. First up, the enigmatic Greta Garbo, the secret lover no one was allowed to mention. The legendary film star of the 1930s, known for captivating roles in Grand Hotel and Queen Christina. She famously retreated from the spotlight in 1941, living discreetly in an old mansion. But few knew that in early 1946, Garbo began a quiet romance with Lana Turner. Lana, at the time, was recovering from a mental breakdown. Their first encounter? A private exhibition by artist Man Ray at the Getty Villa Museum. Garbo, all in black, mysterious. Lana, stunning in ivory Dior. Weeks later, Lana was a regular visitor to Garbo's home, a place without clocks, where curtains were always drawn and classical music filled the long nights. Sounds romantic, right? Think again. Because those initial secrets quickly turned into an obsession. One rainy April night, searching for medicine, Lana discovered a tiny, hidden camera concealed inside an old RCA phonograph, its lens pointed directly at the bed. Days later, a film clip, Lana, asleep, hair mussed, clothes disheveled, arrived at her MGM representative's office. No sender, no message. Immediately, the studio summoned her. She was forced to sign a morality agreement, a document strictly forbidding any homosexual relationships, even discreet ones, for her entire contract. Lana later recalled feeling forced to treat my own feelings as if they were a crime. But the real dagger? Weeks later, Lana saw a strange woman leaving Garbo's house. It was Marie Dubois, a French photographer who had lived with Garbo back in 1943. Lana realized the truth. She wasn't the only one, not even the first. She was just the latest in a long line of women Garbo kept close until someone more captivating appeared. In 1953, when asked about Garbo, Lana's response was chillingly simple. I once believed I was the final chapter in her life, but then I realized I was just a recurring scene. Ouch. Next, the woman who ignited Lana's first spark of love, only to plunge her into a devastating freefall. Barbara Stanwyck. The beginning of a downfall. If you asked Lana about first love, she wouldn't name a man. It was Barbara, regrets, only wishing she'd known sooner that it wasn't love. Picture this, September 1941, Paramount Studio. Lana, just 20, fresh off Ziegfeld Girl, trembling with excitement for her first lead role. Barbara, a force of nature, strode into the lighting room, a gray silk blouse, black coffee, cold eyes. Everyone looked down. Only Lana looked up, and that act right there determined everything that would happen in the next 3 months. Barbara, it turned out, didn't love. She exploited. For Lana, Barbara needed a public girlfriend to quiet rumors about her broken marriage to Robert Taylor, and to hide her secret nights with a married producer. Lana, completely unaware, believed she was special, especially when Barbara took her to bungalow number 5 behind the Beverly Hills Hotel. A place, Lana later discovered, frequented by at least 3 other actresses. One even attempted suicide there. Dark, right? The slide began with pale blue pills, Barbara's so-called creative relaxation aids. Lana, eager to be like Barbara, confident, cold, independent, followed suit. From pills to drinks, from drinks to fainting spells on the sofa. all while Barbara stayed sober, signing major contracts. The studio watched, took notes. One night, after Lana was caught by paparazzi with Barbara at Club Del Mar, she received a summons to Louis B. Mayer's office. There, she was forced to sign another morality agreement, this one short and sharp. Avoid any private, intimate relationships with female colleagues without approval from senior PR department. That very day, all her prescription drugs were confiscated. Her private nurse vanished. Lana wrote in her diary, "I was treated like a depreciating asset. The devastating climax." One December night, Lana arrived early at the bungalow. She found Barbara in a boudoir robe pouring drinks for a director, a married man who had once bluntly refused Lana a role, claiming she lacked depth. Lana ran, collapsed outside the hotel. The official story, exhaustion. The truth, a severe nervous breakdown, accompanied by withdrawal convulsions. She disappeared from the public eye all winter. When she returned, people remarked she looked sharper, calmer. But it wasn't maturity. It was merely the psychological aftermath silenced by medication. If Barbara was the first to make Lana lose faith in her own feelings, the next woman would make her unable to trust anyone else, even herself. Enter the manipulative hand that plunged Lana into her darkest shadows, Anne Sheridan. In mid-1949, Lana was reeling from her third divorce, swarmed by relentless press. Anne appeared as a rare source of support, offering protection. Their first meeting, at the Fountainhead premiere, was cinematic. Anne, in an elegant black dress, leaned in, whispered something. Lana, who hadn't smiled in weeks, suddenly burst into laughter. From there, secret dates began. Their rendezvous? An hourly rented penthouse on Franklin Avenue, leased under Anne's assistant's name. Lana thought she found a confidant, a safe space to share her broken marriage's secrets. She had no idea that behind a two-way mirror, a handheld tape recorder was capturing every single word. Then, the bomb dropped. October 1949, Lana received an anonymous envelope. Inside, a tape recording of her intimate conversations with Anne, a copy of a letter she'd sent to MGM asking to renew her contract, and a chilling note. "We have much more than this. If you believe your career can survive after a lesbian affair is exposed, then try." No signature needed. Just 2 days later, director Irving Cummings suddenly dropped Lana from a project, citing emotional instability. All calls to the studio were cut. Every advertising contract frozen. On October 14, 1949, after 8 hours locked alone in her room, Lana swallowed an entire bottle of Nebutal. The gatekeeper found her, unconscious, blood trickling from a hand injured by broken glass. On her dressing table, a line in red lipstick. "If I'm not pure enough to be loved, then at least I want to be at peace." Lana miraculously survived after 3 days in a coma, but the story exploded. "The spotlight has killed a rose," screamed a headline. "Anne Sheridan? She never once visited." A week later, she was hand in hand with producer Jack M. Warner at an awards ceremony, smiling radiantly, a sapphire bracelet, a gift Lana had specially ordered from Tiffany's, sparkling on her wrist. The truth was undeniable. In this love affair, Anne Sheridan was the greatest beneficiary. If Barbara took Lana's faith, Anne took her trust. But the next woman, she made Lana a laughingstock. Prepare for pure public humiliation. The fourth figure on this list is none other than Tallulah Bankhead, the woman who turned Lana Turner into a laughingstock before 83 powerful eyes of Hollywood. September 1948. Lana met Tallulah at a film party at the infamous Garden of Allah Hotel, a place where extramarital affairs were understood, but never spoken. Lana was still reeling from a noisy breakup. Tallulah, like an unexpected storm, offered a gin and tonic, half joking, half serious. "Want to know how to live without a man?" What followed were nights immersed in cigarettes and French perfume. Tallulah introduced Lana to a circle of underground female artists, women blacklisted by studios, considered gender ambiguous. Lana, surprisingly, felt no fear. She felt she could finally, truly be herself. But just as she started to trust those embraces, Tallulah pulled the curtain down. On January 18, 1949, at a cocktail party hosted by Columbia Pictures, over 80 prominent film industry figures were there. Tallulah abruptly stopped the music, called Lana into the middle of the hall. Guests thought it was a tribute. Lana, embarrassed, stepped forward, but before she could speak, Tallulah pulled out a ring box. Inside, not a gemstone, but an old iron toilet keychain. Her words? For the only person who once thought she was a lover, but in truth was just the keeper of my room key. The laughter, harsh, sharp as gunfire. Lana froze. No one came to her side. A close friend later revealed that as soon as Lana got in her car, she vomited violently, not from alcohol, but from the deep. Public humiliation. Tallulah, not done. Sent a handwritten fax to the Los Angeles Mirror. Hollywood is full of lonely ladies. I only help them wake up before it's too late. Lana chose silence, but years later, in 1957, when asked about Hollywood's most famous female friendship, she simply laughed. A long, bitter laugh, and said, "Some people teach you how to love others, teach you how to spit out feelings that seem sweet, but are actually acid." After that public acid bath, Lana didn't close her heart. Instead, she was drawn into another secret relationship. This time, no mocking laughter, only clear threats, written in black and white. And this woman? She almost forced Lana to flee America. Get ready for a story that sounds straight out of a Cold War spy thriller. Marlene Dietrich, the lover who almost made Lana have to leave America because of treason accusations. In 1950, after years touring Europe with Allied forces, Marlene Dietrich returned to Hollywood like a goddess. But behind that glamour, intrigue, drama, and conquests, driven not by love, but by power and control. Lana met Marlene at a private Warner Brothers gala at the Bel Air Club. Marlene was there, seated at the far end of the table, dazzling. She wore a tuxedo, no jewelry, except for a single black glove on her left hand, a secret sign for the perceptive few. Lana, whether by fate or curiosity, was the first to speak. After just 3 secret dates, Lana received an unexpected offer from Columbia Pictures, a leading role in an ambitious political film set in East Germany. The script was secret, the director unknown, but the pay was double her previous role. The person behind it, Marlene Dietrich herself. Marlene whispered to Lana, "You will not just be an actress, you will be a key pawn in my game." Lana began appearing with Marlene at private meetings of a left-wing intellectual circle in Brentwood, discussions of the Cold War, film industry power, all in French and Russian. Lana didn't understand, but she sat there, a beautiful pawn controlled by someone else's hand. And then it all collapsed. March 1951, the Los Angeles Examiner published an exclusive expose, Top Hollywood Star Linked to a Pro-Soviet Group in California. The article featured a leaked black and white photo, Lana hugging Marlene at a private party with 2 former members of the American Communist Party. The next morning, Lana was summoned to testify before the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUSC. Her entire film contract? Suspended. MGM considered severing ties. And Marlene? She had left for Switzerland a week earlier, abandoning Lana in the eye of the storm. No explanation. 3 months later, a secret meeting with Marlene's former assistant revealed the brutal truth. It was never love, the assistant confessed. It was only an image strategy. Marlene, at a dinner in Zurich, had said it herself. Attaching my name to a star in a vulnerable position is the fastest way for me to return to the spotlight if they burn her. Adding insult to injury. A beautiful woman burned will be remembered longer than an ordinary person dying of old age. Lana nearly lost everything. She lived in hiding for over a year in Palm Springs, even considered leaving America for Lisbon. Days filled with darkness, mild sleeping pills, and dozens of threatening letters. Marlene pushed her to the edge, but the next woman? She coldly pushed Lana right over the abyss, from political pawn to a tragic tool. Next up, Joan Crawford, a lover turned lifelong enemy. After surviving the Marlene Dietrich scandal, at the end of 1952, Lana was at rock bottom. Her major MGM contracts were gone. She was on a high-risk image blacklist. Few options remained. Then, an invitation from Joan Crawford. A supporting role, written especially for Lana in Torch Song. Joan knew Lana's vulnerability and used it like a velvet rope to bind her tightly. At first, Joan treated Lana like royalty, lavish Dior dresses, dinners with Alfred Steele, PepsiCo chairman, and Joan's new husband. Lana believed she'd found a friend, a patron, but it was all a fake surface. Behind the scenes, Joan constantly unsettled Lana. Last-minute script changes, forcing her to reshoot intimate scenes multiple times. And then, the ultimate public power play, making Lana perform a kissing scene with another actress, right in front of over 80 crew members. The script had no such scene. Joan's chilling justification: it's just an artistic kiss as long as you're professional. What happened next? You guessed it. The very next day, a photo from that scene leaked to Confidential magazine with the sensational headline, "Turner trades roles for a same-sex kiss." Lana was plunged into a harsh media storm. This time, no one defended her. The press ran wild. Sponsors threatened to withdraw. Meanwhile, Joan? She calmly appeared on the cover of Life magazine, talking about the artistic sacrifice they both made for modern cinema. Lana realized she was no longer a person. She was merely a tool, while Joan was the one controlling the entire game. An anonymous former assistant producer revealed Joan sold acting contracts like stocks, arranging roles, sponsorships, even scandals. Lana was just a part of that drama, chosen because she was vulnerable and easy to manipulate. The Hollywood Mirror then spread rumors that Lana was sabotaging Joan and Alfred Steele's marriage. Lana was afraid to leave her house for 2 weeks. On February 26th that year, she wrote a single line in her diary. "I drank half a bottle of sleeping pills, but then I woke up because I couldn't let her be the one to write the final chapter of my life." A near-suicide attempt. Lana withdrew, declined projects, sought rehab under a false name. Joan? She stayed in Hollywood, wearing bright red lipstick, stepping onto the stage to receive a Golden Globe for Queen Bee. Her speech deeply emotional. Only Lana truly understood the cruelty behind those rounds of applause. And just when it seemed the pain might recede, an ordinary woman appeared. A woman who forced Lana to carry a silent burden for the rest of her life. Our final name on this shocking list. The woman who left the most profound, lasting wound. Jean Tierney. The woman who made Lana Turner keep silent for life. This wasn't about love or public scandal. It was because Jean caused Lana to lose her honor, her career, and even her right to speak out. Their first meeting, early 1955, a charity fundraiser in New York. Jean had recently withdrawn from Hollywood after a heartbreaking scandal involving her daughter's illness. Lana, conversely, was on the rise again. They were seated together. 2 glasses of red wine, a shared smoke on the balcony, and plans for a private meeting were made. Their relationship was completely secret, yet lasted nearly 4 months. Jean frequently appeared at Lana's penthouse as a script advisor. During this time, Ian persuaded Lana to invest $75,000 into an independent film company called Silver Compass, promoted as a haven for actresses rejected by Hollywood. The catch? Silver Compass didn't exist in any business registration records. Just 6 weeks after Lana transferred the money, an anonymous lawsuit hit Los Angeles court. Lana was accused of complicity in a money laundering scheme through a fake film investment. The Los Angeles Herald-Examiner broke the news, hinting that a top A-list actress had either unwittingly or deliberately aided a fraudulent network involving European investors. The fallout was immediate. All film studios canceled her contracts. Her role in The Swan, signed with MGM, was withdrawn just 36 hours before its announcement. The press pursued relentlessly. Studios turned their backs. And Jean? She vanished from California without a trace. 3 weeks later, Lana was rushed to Cedars of Lebanon Hospital, diagnosed with nervous exhaustion and acute anxiety disorder. She refused to eat, avoided media contact, and repeatedly told her nurse just one sentence: "Please don't mention her name, I swear I won't say a word." The FBI investigated, but found insufficient evidence to prove Lana's direct complicity. Still, her contracts were suspended for nearly a year. All Lana was left with was a promise: to bury the secret deep within herself. Years later, when asked about her biggest career regret, Lana simply replied, "There are things I have to keep silent about, not because I'm afraid of judgment, but because if I spoke out, I would have to admit that I once loved someone who wasn't real." No one truly knows what Gene Tierney wanted from Lana: affection, money, manipulation, or merely revenge on life. But one thing is certain: since Gene, Lana Turner never loved another woman again. And she kept that silence for the rest of her life. In that final leaked cassette tape, Lana's voice, faint but clear, offered her last words on the matter. "I kept silent because I thought I was protecting them, but in the end, it was they who destroyed me." 7 women, each hurting her differently, each leaving her with the same feeling: disgust toward her own genuine emotions. 3 decades later, the truth is out. What do you think about this incredible list? Were you surprised by any of these names? Let us know in the comments below.